Creating opportunities for local veterans and their families was another way our downtown economy improved this year. I worked to spearhead the area's first ever private Veterans Outreach Center. I sat down with local businessman and veteran Charles Gaetano and Iraq War veteran Sergeant Vincent Scalise to bring new life to the former YMCA building. Today the building houses a trendy public cafe and a full staff capable of assisting veterans and their families with finding jobs, housing, and more. As its mission unfolds, so will its success. I'm sure of that. Our economic development successes don't stop there. I cut a lot of ribbons this year, opening up new businesses all around the city, and in doing so I have seen the faces of the New York entrepreneur. They are an optimistic type who, despite all the bad economic news, take a risk in Utica. To all of them, I say thank you for believing in Utica and our administration. We also added more jobs at APAC and AAA, and built new homes and welcomed new taxpayers to Colonial Square's beautiful new homes.
It was very easy working with the mayor's administration. You know, anytime there was any need or concern, all we had to do was to pick up the phone and call. The mayor was very responsive, very supportive, and we couldn't certainly have better things to say about the mayor. We chose Utica because of the great workforce that we have here, the diversity of the workforce, and the infrastructure. When our senior management comes out to visit, they see the bus routes right outside of our building. They see the parking structure that is adjacent to the building.
We also saw real economic development and new growth in North Utica. Residents asked me to bring them a Burlington Coat Factory and revive the Riverside Mall. Well, if you drive there today, you'll see firsthand another promise made and another promise kept. The shops are filling right up, and I'll keep working to propel Utica's biggest sales tax generator. We also won green at Valley View this year. For the second year in a row and for the second time in decades, the city golf course ended the year with a profit. Just as I'm doing in city government, I've restructured management, listened to the customers, and made Valley View Oneida County's premier golf club again. Did I mention we've paved more streets and filled more potholes than even I anticipated? We've kept cars happy in '09 by paving miles and miles of streets. In fact, we've already paved more streets and filled more potholes than any other administration in the last 40 years. The pothole killers are winning the war and taking no prisoners. It's one of the best investments that we've made in that, probably the last 30 years as far as our city streets are concerned. I mean, they're not a save-all, but they just help us prolong, you know, the life of the city streets until we could get to them to pave them all. Environmental projects in the city of Utica are finally happening. We've been waiting 40 years, but finally, I've got us working with the DEC for the first time in decades on ambitious and incredible environmental projects. Whether it was Harbor Point in North Utica or the Matt Petroleum site, the DEC is working with the city. We're finally being noticed. You can bet this attention will attract developers, many of whom I've already had some chats with. Environmental work will translate into economic development, and I'm going to keep doing it, building relationships across the state that put us on the green map. Youth. I firmly believe the youth of our entire country is in trouble. From the violent movies, the grotesque video games, and the notion that so many are on their own really hurts me. It means so much to me that both my wife and I have used this platform to show the youth of Utica that they do matter, that they are important, and that people like us really do care. Whether they are 7, 17, or in their 20s, my administration has brought new hope to the youth of our city. If you think anything of me at all, know that no mayor has ever embraced the youth more than I. Not because I want to be remembered by it, but because I want our youth to learn from it. Whether it's been speaking at Proctor High School's graduation, creating youth sport camps, or launching Operation Play in the Park with the help of Assemblywoman Roanne DeStito, our administration has given the youth of Utica a reason to believe.
Thanks, Mayor Roefaro, for letting me swim here. You're the man.
Public safety. We have changed the face of public safety in this city and achieved one of my most ambitious goals, a decrease in crime. Over 14% since I took office, the lowest in this millennium. Today, I will continue to pledge to not only keep trying to decrease crime, but to increase the personal safety each and every one of you feel. The feelings you get walking your dog, the feelings you get taking out the garbage late at night, and yes, the feelings you get for your own children who may walk to school, to the park, or to a friend's. I will continue to fulfill this promise, but it's the feelings that matter most. You felt safer when we put 2 officers in patrol cars. You felt safer when we installed cameras in high-crime areas and busy places like Varick Street. You felt safer when we equipped our officers with tasers and non-lethal alternatives. You felt safer when we added new police cars, a fire truck, and confirmed the life-saving measures of our Utica firefighters and ambulances. You felt safer when we opened public safety centers that weren't just for fighting crime, but were for bringing together your neighborhoods and showing our youth who was really on their side. We had this envision from day one, the court system here. Very shortly, you're going to see codes officers manning this facility, and that was part of our plan, so that the people who live in this area in Cornhill, who don't have a car, who can't go to the city hall, who can't go to the codes department, could come here and voice their concerns so we can clean up the blight so that they can be heard. You felt safer when we made nuisance abatement work. In the past year, we have done more raids, more drug unit work, and more preventative public safety than ever before. You felt safer when we promised to fight illegal guns and the criminals who purchased them, enacting one of the most innovative crime laws in America, the Gun Offender Registry Act. Most important, you will keep feeling safe because my faithful pledge of public safety has only begun to show its teeth.
My daughter's father was killed to be 16 years this coming December 31st. By an illegal gun, he was shot and murdered, and she was left an only child at 13 months old. I support the mayor's fight against illegal guns to get them off the streets and remove them because it really affects me personally.
Crime doesn't pay, and Utica, New York is a new example of that. Utica, New York will not be a refuge for the downstate drug dealer. Utica, New York will not be a hideout for the people whose only goal is to cheat and scare each of you. We will continue to prevail, I promise you this. The Mayor's Ball. If you've attended, you've had an incredible time. It's not about glamour, it's not about being elite, it's about our kids. Total attendance, over 3,600 people. Total raised, almost $200,000. Total in-kind services, over $250,000. And what did it cost you? Just $50 each year. Real working class citizens attend the Mayor's Charity Ball. Real working class citizens and their families. This year, downtown Utica lit up as the Radisson Hotel hosted the event of the year to benefit the children's wing of the Utica Zoo. We counted over 1,500 guests. People were invigorated and cured of what for many has been a cold, long winter. My wife did a phenomenal job this year, and so many of you helped out. Because of our sponsors, our donors, and our attendees, our area children will enjoy a new playground, open their eyes to a world of wildlife, and who knows, maybe even figure out what they want to be when they grow up. It was President John F. Kennedy who once exclaimed, "The time to fix the roof is when the sun is shining." Well, I think he was right, and I think we're headed for some blue skies here in Utica. The recovery ahead awaits.